It started like any other patrol, until Officer Laura noticed a small shepherd dog trailing behind her car. No collar. No owner. Just those pleading eyes that refused to look away. When she finally followed the dog to where it wanted her to go, what she found shattered her heart. Before we start, make sure to hit like and subscribe. And really, I'm curious, where are you watching from? Drop your country name in the comments. I love seeing how far our stories travel. It was just after sunrise when Officer Laura began her morning patrol through the quiet streets of town. The air was crisp, her boots crunching softly against the gravel as she made her way toward her car. That's when she noticed it. A small shepherd dog standing a few feet away, staring right at her. At first, she thought it was a stray. But when she started walking, the dog followed. When she stopped, it stopped. Its fur was dusty, its ears slightly drooped, but its eyes, deep brown and full of something she couldn't quite name, never left her. "Hey, buddy," she said softly, kneeling down. The dog tilted its head but didn't move closer. When she stood and began her route, it followed again, keeping just enough distance. It wasn't just following her. It was looking for something, or someone. Officer Laura crouched slowly, extending a hand toward the little shepherd. The dog hesitated, ears twitching, then took a cautious step closer. Its fur was matted with dirt, one paw slightly lifted, an old injury maybe. When she reached into her pocket and pulled out half a sandwich from breakfast, the dog sniffed it, then devoured it in seconds. But even as it ate, its eyes kept flicking toward the distant road. It would glance back at her, then stare off again, whining softly as if urging her to notice something she couldn't see. Laura frowned. This wasn't just hunger or fear. The dog seemed anxious, desperate. Something about its behavior made her pulse quicken. "Are you trying to tell me something?" she murmured, more to herself than the animal. The shepherd took a few steps forward, stopped, looked back at her, then barked once, sharp and urgent. That's when Laura realized. It wanted her to follow. Laura hesitated for a moment, then sighed and grabbed her radio. "Dispatch, this is Officer 42. I'm investigating a possible abandoned area just past Mill Creek. Might need backup if anything looks off." The small shepherd barked again, tail flicking anxiously. Then, without waiting, it trotted down the dirt road that led out of town. Laura followed, her boots crunching against the gravel. The farther they went, the quieter it became. No cars, no voices, just the wind whispering through the trees. The dog led her across a narrow wooden bridge, through tall grass that brushed against her uniform. Every few steps it turned back to check she was still behind. Half a mile in, she noticed something odd. Faint footprints in the mud. 2 sets, one large, and one small. A child's glove lay nearby, half buried beneath leaves, pink and faded. Laura knelt, her heart tightening. She looked at the shepherd. "Who's out here, boy?" The dog whimpered softly, nose to the ground, then tugged gently at her sleeve before bolting ahead again. Faster this time, more urgent. Laura's instincts sharpened. Whatever was waiting up ahead, she knew it wasn't just coincidence anymore. The trail wound deeper into the woods until the trees thickened and the air grew heavy with silence. Laura slowed her pace, scanning the area. That's when she saw it. A small, weather-beaten cabin tucked behind a cluster of pine trees. Its windows were shattered, the front door hanging crooked on one hinge. The shepherd sprinted ahead, barking wildly, then disappeared inside. "Hey, wait!" Laura called, her hand instinctively moving to her holster. She approached cautiously, every sense on alert. The faint smell of smoke lingered in the air, mixed with something metallic. Blood, maybe. Her flashlight beam cut through the dim interior. "Police! Anyone here?" she shouted. A whimper answered her, faint, weak, human. Laura's pulse spiked. She followed the sound to a corner of the room where a thin blanket lay bundled on the floor. She lifted it gently when gasped. A little boy, pale, shivering, barely conscious. The shepherd whined, circling close, pressing its nose to the child's cheek. Laura dropped to her knees, wrapping the boy in her jacket and grabbing her radio.
"Dispatch, this is Officer 42. I need an ambulance now."
Within minutes, the sound of sirens echoed faintly through the trees. Paramedics rushed in, lifting the unconscious boy onto a stretcher. Laura followed them out, the shepherd trotting anxiously beside her, whining whenever the child's hand slipped from view. At the ambulance, A medic checked the boy's pulse and muttered, "Severe dehydration, hypothermia, but he's alive." Relief washed over Laura's face. She looked down at the dog who sat quietly watching, eyes full of exhaustion and something deeper, grief. When the ambulance sped away, Laura turned back toward the cabin. Inside, the air felt even heavier now. On a small table lay an old wallet, the photo of a woman and child tucked inside. The resemblance was unmistakable. Scattered around were empty food cans, torn blankets, and faint marks on the floor, signs of struggle. Someone had tried to survive here, and then something terrible happened. Later, a local farmer recognized the woman in the photo. She'd gone missing 2 weeks earlier, a single mother traveling with her son after losing her home. And the shepherd? He wasn't just any stray. He was their dog, their protector, their last hope. The next morning, Laura returned to the woods, this time with a full search team. The little shepherd dog trotted beside her, tail low, ears alert. He seemed to know exactly where to go. They moved past the cabin, deeper into the forest where the ground sloped and the air felt damp. Suddenly, the dog broke into a run, barking frantically. "Max, wait!" Laura shouted, sprinting after him. He stopped near a fallen tree, pawing desperately at the ground. The bark of his cries echoed through the forest, sharp, mournful, heartbreaking. Laura's stomach twisted. She knelt beside him, brushing away leaves and mud. That's when she saw it, a pale hand still and cold beneath the earth. Her breath caught in her throat. "Oh no," she whispered. They uncovered the rest gently. It was the woman from the photo, the boy's mother. She had shielded her son with her body when the tree collapsed during a storm. The dog must have stayed by her side until hunger and desperation forced him to seek help. Laura pressed a trembling hand over her mouth, eyes glistening. The shepherd lay beside the woman's body, silent now, his head resting gently on her arm. He hadn't been lost. He'd been leading them home. Days later, the boy finally woke in the hospital, weak, confused, but alive. His first word was a whisper. "Max." Laura smiled softly and stepped aside as the small shepherd trotted in, tail wagging gently. The boy's eyes filled with tears as Max climbed onto the bed, curling beside him just like before. Everyone in the room felt it, the bond, the love, the loyalty that had saved them both. Later, Laura adopted Max herself, promising he'd never be alone again. Because some heroes walk on 4 paws. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on the bell icon for more emotional, real-life stories that inspire and move you.